Hello, welcome once again to the Eurofan, that's me. For today's episode I'm going to review the German entry for Eurovision 2022, which has been represented by singer Malik Harris with the song Rockstars. Germany is having really serious problems, as they have not caught the attention of the European audience in the last editions, being synced in the last positions. The last flop happened with a funny and colorful performance of Jendrik in last year's contest, which did not convince after placing second to last in the final ranking. Let's see if the next artist can turn tables and achieve a better result for the German nation in Turin. Malik Harris is a German singer and rapper, of American father and German mother. He comes from a family well linked to music, as his grandfather was an opera singer, his grandmother was a pianist, and his father is a multi-instrumentalist who also teaches cello. He started his musical career very recently in 2019, composing with help of his guitar and releasing his debut studio album last year. How is that he comes to represent Germany at the Eurovision? I'm going to explain it in detail. After trying with the internal selections in the two previous editions, including the cancelled one in 2020, for this year the German broadcaster want to organize again a national final, this time named Germany 12 Points. The submission period was open from last November for artists and songwriters interested in sending their proposals. After the deadline, it was known that they have received 944 entries, a quite high number indeed, which were shortened to 25. And after a round of live auditions in last January, a 7-member expert panel picked out the 6 finalists to compete in the national final, being Malik among them. The televised show took place in early March, where the winner will be chosen exclusively by the audience. Then, after the performances of all the finalists, the televoting results proclaimed Malik as the winner of the competition, earning the right to represent Germany on the main stage of Turin. A proposal that tasted for long enough times that will never return. Now here comes the analysis according to what he has presented in his official music video. Opposed to what many might think with the song's title, it's not a rock track but a ballad blended with some rap. The melody is quite basic in this case, using the same full chord pattern during mostly all the song. Malik's voice is fine in the part where he sings, while the part where he declaims reminds a lot to Eminem's rapping style. The song's lyrics are inspired in an episode of his favorite series, The Office. The character portrayed by Steve Carell said a quite particular phrase: "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them." This statement had a huge impact in Malik, having commented that he used to constantly think about the good old days, comparing himself with his younger self, having a lot of worries and doubts, and thinking too much about everything. In this case, the song's title makes reference to those younger days, when life was more simple and carefree. About the message of the song, despite the melancholic context behind it, it reflects that it doesn't matter how hard or difficult our present time could be. What really matters is to find those good things in your life that make you feel complete and happy, so the good old days will never have an end. Detaching the official music video, the plot is fully developed in a house in Where is Malik. In the first shots, you can see close-ups of him performing the song while playing a keyboard. Meanwhile, the camera focuses on portraits of him and his family when he was a kid, symbolizing the good old days mentioned throughout the song in this case. By the second chorus, Malik is seen getting up from what it seems is his bed, with more family portraits in the background. The house looks sloppy through the music video, making a reflection some way in the state of mind described in the verse. Into the clean part of the song, Malik goes round and round in the house. Then there are moments where the rapping gets intense and emotional, noticeable with a storm that begins from outside the house, with lightning bolts and thunders. With the last chorus, the storm continues while Malik is at the living room, and it looks like the windows are open or broken, because there are many wind bursts with leaves, some of them strong enough to make objects fall on the floor. At the end of the music video, the storm comes down while Malik finishes his performance. After leaving the living room, a final shot is seen with an old clock with its hands spinning very quickly, making an illusion of how time flies so fast as described in the chorus. Making a summary of the comments, the German entry for this year makes me be a little thoughtful. In particular, I'm not used to thinking too much about old times, although the song gives an important reflection, which probably many people will feel identified. Recalling the staging he had in the German national final, it was quite intimate. The performance was focused on him, with many musical instruments on a platform at the center of the stage. While singing and rapping, he used simple spotlights, and the visual graphics seen were mostly pictures of him when he was a kid and as an adult while participating and singing in recent tours. It comes to attention the final instant during the end of the performance, in which he shows the backside of his guitar, in which reads the message, "I stand with Ukraine." I guess his dynamics on stage and the narrative he projected were decisive in obtaining the votes from the public. For the staging in touring, Malik had very clear how he wanted to do it, in a very particular and specific way, following the trend he used in the national final. As seen in the rehearsals, there were carpets and several musical instruments, with the idea of creating the atmosphere like in his studio, where he spends most of the time when he is recording and doing songwriting. There was a slight change in the spotlights, flashing at times when simulating the storm in the rapper part of the song, and using warm spotlights in the final chorus. He also made the same gesture with the guitar like in the national final, but with the message peace, because as we know, no political messages and statements can be broadcasted during the live shows. His live performance in the grand finale was exactly as he wanted. However, the audience did not connect with the song, having received very low scores during the counting of the votes, placing last in the final ranking. The result is another consecutive flop for Germany, but even so, both Malik and the German delegation expressed satisfaction with the entry presented. Obviously, there is some deception, as they would like to have had a better result, but they move forward with the head up high and the well done work. In the meanwhile, Malik will continue working in his recently started musical career, so probably he will be focused working in his second studio album, in which the song he has performed in the contest will be featured among the tracks. And you, what do you think about the German entry for this year? As usual, leave your comments down below to keep the discussion. And this is it for today's episode. Before I finish, if you like my content here, then you know what to do. Give a like, subscribe, enable notifications, and follow me in my social media. Take care and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.